وصلت من سعادة حسين المحمودي رئيس التنفيذي لجمع الشارقة للتنمية الإسلام.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحن سعيدين بهذا الافتتاح وهذه الفعالية المميزة. هذه الفعالية نتاج لشراكة مثمرة بين القطاع الخاص في إمارة الشارقة وبين الجامعة الأمريكية وأيضا مجمع الشارقة للبحوث والتكنولوجيا والابتكار. نحن اليوم سعيدين بأن نشوف إمارة الشارقة تخطو خطوات بفضل رؤية صاحب السمو حاكم الشارقة في قطاعات تقنية حديثة مثل قطاعات الطباعة ثلاثية الأبعاد. ونحن اليوم مرة ثانية نشكر صاحب السمو على الدعم اللامحدود لمجمع الشارقة للبحوث والتكنولوجيا وللجامعة الأمريكية وللقطاعات الاقتصادية بشكل عام في إمارة الشارقة. نشكركم ونتمنى للجميع إن شاء الله أمسية سعيدة. وأنا الحين بخلي الأخ الدكتور عادل التميمي من الجامعة الأمريكية إن شاء الله يقول كلمة بعد.
أهلا وسهلا، السلام عليكم وشكرا أستاذ حسين. والحقيقة أنه إحنا اليوم نقول الحلم اتحقق إن شاء الله بجهود المخلصين من الأخوة في الشارقة، من الأستاذ حسين المحمودي وحيدر وابن والجامعة الأمريكية. فإحنا محظوظين جدا وجودنا في إمارة الشارقة بدعم صاحب السمو صراحة، يعني يدعم هو التعليم ويدعم الأشياء العملية اللي تخرج مخرجات التعليم. هذا هو مخرجات التعليم. مخرجات التعليم انه تبني انت اشياء تبدي من المختبر وتنتهي في شيء يعني يسعد الناس وممكن استخدامه. فاحنا فرحين جدا واحنا فخورين بالجامعه الامريكيه بالشارقه لعلاقتنا مع استاذ حسين. كانت بدايه موفقه جدا، هو دعانا نشتغل مع بعض والحمد لله اثمرت هاي الجهود. وان شاء الله احنا عندنا اشياء كثيره ان شاء الله في المستقبل مع بعض ومع اخرين من اجل انه يتحقق ان شاء الله حلمنا طبعا وحلم هيز هاينس يعني صاحب السمو. احنا فرحين بهذا الشيء وشكرا على دعوتكم استاذ حسين، وان شاء الله اتمنى لكم التوفيق والنجاح وشكرا لكم جميعا. شكرا جزيلا.
عندنا حيدر.
السلام عليكم. اول شيء انا علي حيدر من طلاب الدكتور عادل التميمي، وبصراحه يعني اخذنا من العلم ما يكفي من الدكتور ويعني كفه وزياده. وحاليا يعني الحلم انه نطبق، مش بس نتعلم وايضا نطبق. فبجهود جباره من مجمع الشارقة للبحوث والجامعه الامريكيه قدرنا ان نحقق الحلم، ان نطبق كل شيء تعلمناه ونزيد بالبحوث وان شاء الله نظل نطور في التكنولوجيا.
شكرا جزيلا.
حيدر. شو الأجابة؟
We're going to start the session now.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. مساكم الله بالخير وشكرا على الحضور. أول شيء who is here non-Arabic speaking person? So Bipin, Zina, who else? Okay, so if you don't mind, I will do it in English. Next time, plain Arabic. Maybe that's something we can do for fun. It's really amazing to be here in this nice place in the United Arab Emirates and in an amazing city of Sharjah, the capital of culture, the capital of education, and the capital of innovation. We are very proud to stand here in a project that was a dream for His Highness that came true. A few years ago, this place was a piece of dirt and sand, and there was nothing here. So it was transformed by His Highness' vision, and the team of SRTIP was remarkable. This transformation and this dream would have not come true if it was not for the commitment and sincerity of real partners like Dr. Adil from the American University of Sharjah, Mr. Bipin from Jinko, Mr. Haidar, and many others. It's only through real partnership that we really manage to do things like this and really execute the impossible. So we are very lucky to have such a partners really with us here. The project of the 3D house is a very unique project. As you know, the UAE government have a big aspiration to become the center and the capital of additive manufacturing and 3D. And today's house is a true manifestation of the vision of the leadership of the UAE, that we make dreams come true. As much as it sounds and looks simple, this project is not simple. It took a lot of science into it, a lot of designing, a lot of execution, a lot of negotiation, a lot of communication, a lot of approvals to reach what we have today here. But this is really a typical process for any new technology or any new research that you conduct in any field. You have to go through the process and you have to get your hand dirty and you have to have committed partners and visionary leaders who really support this. For us, this house is only the beginning. We are very, very keen, inshallah, in 2021 to really grow this technology further and further. We pride ourselves today, and again, very short time, to really have advanced program in 3D printing. In this place, we print concrete, we print metal, and we print plastic. So this is really very exciting moments. I would like again to thank all of you, to thank my team, and to thank our partners to really make this dream come true. Inshallah, this is the beginning, and will bring a lot of good things to our businesses, to our universities, our students, to ourselves, because these type of technologies puts us in the front of the people and in the front of the world. And this type of technology, a new technology that brings competitive advantage for us vis-a-vis, let's say, our competitors. So today we are celebrating another milestone in the UAE. Yesterday His Highness inaugurated amazing project of Khalfakan. And I would have not announced this, but we are very proud that SRTIP, inshallah, will play a major role and major project of Khalfakan. Probably some of you saw it on social media yesterday, but if you didn't go Google it, you will know what we will be doing in Khalfakan. So thank you very much, and thanks for accepting our invitation. Thank you, Bipin. Thank you, Dr. Adil. Thanks for coming here. Haidar, I think this is your turn now. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for joining us here today and sharing our joy of completing this humble little icon for the city of Sharjah and the United Arab Emirates. So I'm Haidar, Project Executive at Middle East Engineering Technologies. And on my first year of my bachelor's degree at the University of Sharjah, I was studying physics at the time. And it was a brilliant program. The courses were a lot of fun. But there was one grim issue that was looming in the distance. And that was having spoken to all the physicists at the time that I had met, they all kept saying one thing: there are no jobs for physicists and in R&D in general. So get prepared to leave the country. Well, that's not the point. The point was, during that first year, I took an English class. And for that English class, we had to prepare presentations. And those presentations had to be about topics that could have been true, could have been fictitious. Doesn't matter, so long as they were interesting, and in English, of course. So there was one guy that had this excellent presentation. And he went something like, you know how when you want to build your house and you go house shopping? And we all nodded, like we have done that before. And then he continued, he said, well, how you do that is you go to Google and you look at houses online, you finally find the house you like, so well, I can live here. And then you take that picture, copy it, paste it onto Word or whatever, and then you print it with an HP printer or your favorite printer. And then you take that printed picture and then you run with it to 2, maybe 3 architects. And then from there you go to approximately 501 engineers. And then 2 years later, hopefully, you would have grown wise enough to understand that life is short and it's no point fighting, and you should just take what life gives you and stop moaning about what you want. So he suggested that instead of this, why don't we take this HP printer or your favorite printer and enlarge it, make it so big that instead we can skip the 500 philosophers of science in the middle and just click print and print your dream house. Well, very nice idea. We all had a lot of fun. We had a great laugh. He got his well-deserved A and we moved on. But for me, I didn't just move on. That presentation really resonated with me. That presentation it had an enormous impact on me, and you could say it had a career-changing impact on me. Okay, I didn't care about the big printer or printing houses at the time, but I thought, 501 engineers, that's where the jobs are. And here I am, a few years later, not a physicist, a civil engineer, but with the same passion for science, engineering, and pushing the technological envelope that I always had. And yes, maybe we aren't there yet where we can just click print and have your dream house printed in just a couple of hours. But what we have achieved And what we are celebrating here is a tremendous effort that was put together in designing, constructing, organizing, and financing this house, this company, Middle East Engineering Technologies, and this park. And what this really means is, what this represents is hope. Hope that future students don't have to chase jobs over their passion. Hope that dreams, visions, even if they were a funny presentation, can be turned into reality. And on this note, I would like to thank His Excellency Hussein al-Mahmoudi for the indispensable effort that he has provided through the park. I'd like to thank Mr. Bibin Chandan, the CEO of Jinko Group, that has hosted Meet and that owns Meet. I would like to thank Dr. Adel Tamimi, professor, my mentor at American University of Sharjah. I would also like to shout out to Barry from Saibi Constructions Netherlands for their technology providing and their support that they have provided us all this time. And this collaboration, and like Mr. Hussein mentioned, we know the challenges that we face and the unbelievable hiccups that we had to face. But at the end, we didn't just get a house. At the end, we reserved our place on the global map of innovation and pioneering. I would also like to thank Mr. Sabir from Civil Twin for providing these latest technology bifacial solar panels for the house to make the house even more sustainable than what it is. I would really like to point out that this is a sustainable house. This uses materials that try to reduce, that have a lower carbon footprint by up to 60% compared to traditional materials. It is a well-insulated house, consistent with what people would expect for this region. And well, we could go on about the other benefits of 3D printing, but I think another benefit that we noticed during the printing of this project that isn't focused on so much, and that is until the point where you go completely automated and you click the print and leave it. Until that point, what we noticed is that we're improving the welfare of workers. Our workers now, we have taken away a big part of their manual labor and given it to a robot. And that's made them, well, in the long term they'll get used to it and they'll start complaining anyway, but at least in the short term, we have happier workers. We have workers that we have reduced their labor and we have upskilled their abilities. And for now, we have happier workers, and I hope that with this talk, I would leave you as a happier audience as well. Thank you very much. I would like to call to the stage Dr. Adel Tamimi also to say a few words. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Haider. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Hussein Mahmoudi, and for all the staff in the research park. You are doing a wonderful job. And of course, meet Mr. Bibin and Haider. I am very thrilled to be here, really. I see that the things which was on my paper back in 2010, I was just saying this notes on my paper, there was 3D in 2010, 2008. I was teaching this to my student, master student. I never thought that we are going to be in this stage where we found the words on that paper transferred to house which it is practical and can be used. Now, thanks to that time it was the American University of Sharjah enterprise led by Mr. Hussein al-Mahmoudi. He had that time a small but remarkable office next to the Chancellor of AUS, and he was trying to make things happening. All what it requires to make remarkable things, you need to find enthusiastic people with visions. And we have His Highness, really. His Highness, he has this vision and enthusiastic. And he wants things to change from the lab to reality. Mr. Hussein, His Excellency, the same thing. He's very enthusiastic. He invited us We were in the lab only, in our labs. We were working in the lab, and he said, "Why you don't go outside the lab? Bring your student and do something which can be transferred outside the lab." And that was kind of a game change for us, really. We do a lot of things in the lab. We publish international papers very well. But now we want the lab to serve the community. And that was his vision, His Excellency Sharjah. And we started that time. He brought, in 2017-18, he brought a university from Finland called Olo, I think. Olo, which was interesting. Faculty, professors, and students, they came from Finland. And he gave us the opportunity to work with them. I brought my students. Some of them are here. I think Abdullah Ghnian is one of our students who was part of this competition between Finland University and AUS. So they encourage this kind of international link or technology transfer. And we started. So we were encouraged, and we had the momentum. We have the push to go outside the lab. And we did a good job with our students. Now, Abdullah Ghniam, who was undergraduate, now he is a graduate student with us, and he's working on 3D. He started 3D back in 2017 with the competition between AUS and the Finland University. And they won a competition. They won competition in Dubai Chamber of Commerce in 2018. They were the first team in our university to win something in the 3D. Anyway, I just like to make it short. We are very happy that as Steve Jobs, he mentioned that you need to collect the dots. We are collecting the dots, really. And we have the dots which we are collecting is like the necklace. We call it in Arabic, we call it mesbaha. I don't know mesbaha in English, what is it? Let's say a necklace with bees. We are connecting these bees, really, from the lab to the fantastic people in the research park, with the meat company as well, and of course from AUS. Well, let's say AUS is one of the best, in the region, let's say. And we, the Department of Civil Engineering, we are now, let's say it with confidence, we are the best civil engineering department in UAE according to the QS, not according to us. A QS is the international rating from the United States, and they found that we in civil engineering, we are the best in UAE in 2020, and we ranked 150 in the world. If it is 150 in the world, in the state alone, you can get maybe 500 or 600 department, civil engineering department, and we are 150. So it's not a big job, something which is not easy. We're trying to keep on that. Of course, all it comes from the backing of His Highness. Without His Highness, really, we cannot do anything. Without our administration at AUS, the Chancellor and the Dean, of course, backing, and our enthusiastic students, we are blessed. We have very nice, well, I think, not only us, I mean, our sister university in Sharjah University, they are equally like us. But we are blessed with our students as well. Haider, he's one of our products. Haider, he's now managing director with Jinko, and he's doing a remarkable job. And we have I have 3 master students. They are working on 3D only. One of them graduated with a very nice international paper. We are making some kind of, we call stamp on 3D in the world. And now we have 2 master students. One of them, Abdullah, he's with us, and maybe Ahmed, he will come as well. And I have PhD students working on 3D, just joined us. So the things is lifting up, and it's transferred from the lab to something executable, and it's beneficial to everybody. I am very thrilled personally to have this kind of occasion, and we are determined to go further. As Mr. Hussein, His Excellency, he said, we have to go further and we have to increase the momentum and do a lot of things. We want to get out of the lab to the enterprises, to the business, with collaboration between the universities and the business and the government. That's what this is our what you call our job. Our job is to show things are developing. One of them is 3D, but we have other things, of course. 3D is one of the fundamental things we are doing, and we are going to progress on this one step by step, and with the backing of the Sharjah Research Park, of course, the MEET, and of course the American University of Sharjah. I'm very proud of our student, our master student and PhD student, and the team in the research park, and of course MEET and Haider, and we are going to work together to make things even better. Of course, I don't want to forget DG World, represented by Miss Yasmin Lanzi. She's director at DG World Robotic, and she is helping us a lot. She wants to make things working in R&D with their robots, German robots. So I would like to thank her for her initiative and backing the university as well. Recently, we have appointment of Dr. Basim Abbas. He just joined AUS in our team. Now we have a large team on 3D, and he brings all the expertise from Al Ghurair investment. He is director of Al Ghurair, Ahmed Al Ghurair investment for the last maybe 20 years. So he will bring all this experience with us. He has very technical mind, and he's working with us in the 3D. We hope that we are going to go off the floor like this 3D villa. We are very proud. This villa comes contribution from many parts, and we put small contribution from AUS, and we are trying to make it bigger with time. Thank you for this opportunity, and I wish the best of luck for the research park and MEET and everybody. And thank you for giving us this opportunity. Thanks a lot. And from one progress to another progress, from one strength to another strength, hopefully step by step. Thank you very much, and good night.
So I think this concludes our event today. I don't know if anyone has a question to Dr. Adel or Haider. Ahmed, please go ahead.
Actually, the question is to Dr. Ali, but Haider can feel free to answer. It's impressive. I was myself amazed to know that such amount of work has really been conducted in this prestigious project that distinguishes us completely from different other research centers. You have mentioned that there were some papers and there were some works done on this 3D industry that was published, I think, globally. I just wanted to know if SRTIB was part of the publishing and all the communication there. Thank you very much.
In fact, these publications without the research park, it cannot be done. We always acknowledge the research park for, in our paper, if you go and see the paper, you can see that there is acknowledgement for the research park, because and for MEET as well. So yes, it is a collaborative work between AUS and the research park, and these are published now. We have around 9 papers, not all journals, 3 journals, which is not easy to publish the journals, but we have 3 and 6 conferences, and we are having more in the pipeline. So yes, of course, we have to recognize their support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So when we started this, we also, as Dr. Adel mentioned, we had strong collaboration with the universities, and one of them was Ulu Technical Universities. We actually created a 3D construction lab. You can go and Google it as well. But in addition to what Dr. Adel said today, a friend of mine sent me another book which is called Digital Nation, which is also SRTIB's along with our colleagues here as well. تفضلي. ثاني ولا بس؟
السلام عليكم. مهندسة ياسمين العنزي. My background is robotics. Congratulations Haidar. Congratulations to all of us in Sharjah, and congratulations Dr. Adel. I have first a question for you, His Excellency. After this research has been done with all collaboration, private, government, even international cooperation you have, are we going to see a strategy for 3D printing in Sharjah in collaboration with all what we have here, like ISKAN Authority and municipality of Sharjah and all authority who is related to houses, especially this research? There is a lot of talk, it's going even in program in Sharjah, Khat al-Mubashir, that if we could use this technology to reduce the cost of building the house for local people, especially in Sharjah, we have a program for that. This is the first question. Second question for Haidar, I want to know how many months this is development has been done. I know this is an R&D and it's a concept, proof of concept, but I would like to know the time for that. Thank you very much.
So the answer is yes. We had a vision and a strategy from day one of how and where we want to take this type of technology. As I said, we are, alhamdulillah, in Sharjah here in the park. We have advanced not only concrete printing, we have advanced metal printing, which is not anybody has, and also plastic as well. With relation to this, of course, this is a proof of concept, but it's a true house. From day one, again, we engaged with not only local authorities on this, even federal authorities as well. We had visits from all the housing programs in the UAE, from public works. This is something happening as we speak now. We do have plan for Sharjah, inshallah, that we try to push in 2021, and I think we will get it done, and I think it's going to be a great addition. Any percentage of the strategy was achieved?
Sorry, I mean that a percentage of plan, for example, by 2023 or 2023-5, what will be the plan to be achieved or the point to be achieved? What will be changed?
There is a vision and there is a plan, and I don't want to say my plan, frankly, but I have a plan in my mind for 2021 is to print more.
I know it's a great job, His Excellency. We are so proud.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to give the number because it's not about the number.
It's a goal.
It's a goal, but again, it's not about the house alone, because this technology is not only printing. There are other elements involved. So there is a strategy. Inshallah, you will hear about it once we get the project in place. But there is a very, I would say, realistic strategy goals for 2021. Inshallah, we try to scale it.
Inshallah.
Regarding your question about the duration, so we started with this development roughly about a year and a half or something back, and if you're talking about the duration for printing on site, so the walls were printed in just over 2 weeks. All the walls of the house were printed in just over 2 weeks. And the duration of the villa, we spent more time after that in R&D, because we have to, you see, it's not just 3D printing. We are not focused just on 3D printing, which is useless on its own. We are focused on delivering houses. That's our goal, delivering houses that end users can live in and use. So we have to integrate 3D printing with traditional construction in such a way that we can guarantee safety and we can guarantee comfort. So we took some time as well to focus on the R&D of that, on how we can integrate 3D printing into construction and deliver the end product to customers.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Any other questions? تفضل.
Muhammad Saif, Hora TV. First of all, I would like to congratulate everybody, all the partners of such amazing project. And I'd like to ask, always Sharjah and UAE famous of the historical designs of houses. So I'd like, I'm dreaming of getting a 3D house with UAE traditional designs. So can we put this with let's make it a cooperation between the technology and the historical designs?
So I think this house is actually UAE local design, is a local houses. So this is the elements on this house is reflects UAE culture and UAE houses design. But I think the unique thing about Sharjah, as you can see all over these buildings, is really focusing on our Islamic and Arabic architecture, which is very powerful. And I think inshallah we'll continue this, because I think really we have a lot in our architecture. Islamic architecture, Arabic architecture is really very powerful. And I think it's whoever is in design, especially students, we need to improve on those design and make them more modern that we can do. So this building, we tried to make it modern Islamic culture. So I think a lot of people says we did a good job. But this is one example, this is another example. And inshallah, even by the way, if you see the train projects, their stations are designed in an Arabic style as well. You cannot see anything now, but if you come in the morning and close to what you see, it's all designed in Arabic architecture. So we will maintain this inshallah, because it's very powerful, I think.
Thank you so much, and congratulations
Shukran,
again.
shukran.
Thank you.
So
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Osama Adel, University of Sharjah, Architecture Engineering. I have a very important question about the aspects of comparing this construction, the typical construction, and then, for example, the precast construction, the mass fabrication, mass customization. So are you considering any indicators of comparing and understanding how is this really effective from an economical perspective, especially on larger projects? When you look at building cities, for example, are you considering this, or what are the current indicators of understanding the costs and comparing it to normal, beside the time, of course, and the technicalities? This is more environment friendly and all of this, but the overall, is it really justifiable yet, or where can we reach this level to justify? Because this uses a lot of advanced technology, as an expert also in 3D printing, so it's not that simple to go through it, even though it goes in 2 weeks. So is this part of the research too? Is it possible to see some numbers and really reach a level of understanding this and say, yes, we're gonna reach there if we do this enough, or how is it really right now?
I think once we understand and we can see, once we have got our eyes on the goal and we know what are the benefits of the technology, there is inherent benefits in the technology, right? It's just how you use it now. It's just how you convince people that this is actually good, you know. And you just have to get the ball rolling. That's really what it is. Once you start building projects, I mean, even in this country, precast concrete, you know, it wasn't that famous. It wasn't everywhere until the construction and property boom happened, and then developers wanted to have property as soon as possible, and precast companies were spawning everywhere in every corner of the country, because people, you know, they had a demand. They saw that, okay, this can solve my problem, and they went running to it. It's just a matter of time. And from our side, and as well from AUS, I mean, research is still ongoing, and it's not just research, it's research and disseminating of information, which is partly what we're doing here and partly what SRTI Park keeps doing with their constant events that are happening. So once people are aware, once we are able to get education out there about the technology, from our side also we need to simplify the technology. Yes, exactly, as we start manufacturing the motor locally as well. So there are different aspects. I mean, once we start working, once you get the ball rolling, it will definitely be accepted by the industry.
See, when the motor comes to be manufactured locally, and subsequently when the construction industry moves start using this, the backward cost of construction, having been said, the cost of labor camps, accommodations, transportations, administrative expenses, such expenses will come down, which will generally bring the total construction cost down. Now, when a labor when he works right now, if he takes a salary of 1,500 dirham. Actual cost to company is close to 3,000, 3,200 dirham. So this is where the cost has to really come down. It is not the cost of direct construction of labor. So this now, when you make one villa, when you make 50 villas, and this is not only villa, this 3D printing we can use for villas, for benches, for culverts, for architectural components. So this here, when you make mass production, cost will come down. Only thing, you have to integrate the engineering in the right beginning itself. So once you integrate the engineering in the beginning itself, you really know what you want to do. But for this, it is learning by doing, because we have to keep on doing more and more, so that the technology comes forward and the cost comes down. I believe that answers the question.
Thank you so much.
سؤال قبل نختم. شكرا على الحضور مرة ثانية. Thank you for being here. وإن شاء الله we look forward to seeing you again. Dr. Adil, thank you very much. Thank you for attending. Haidar, Bipin, and everyone, thank you very much for being part with us. Of course, our partners in the media, Sharjah TV and Qanat Al-Harra and others, thank you for your support. This is a culture we need to develop. This is we all learn by doing, as Bipin says, and we all learn every day new things. It's not easy to communicate and explain this technology to general public. So I think we have all duty to really raise awareness and bring science into our world, inshallah. Thank you very much and good evening. Please join us for a quick bites here and enjoy the nice weather. We are lucky to be here. Huh? Thank you very much. Please go and check out the villa. We're going to sell this villa without the owner. Please, taking a group photo as well. Thank you.